Take the bread and slice the edges as shown to make the cover for the filling. Make sure to cut all the edges in a proportionate manner so it looks good from all the sides. Now slowly take in some water and dip it on the sides of the bread. This is actually done so that it's easier to stick when you put the filling. Make sure that all the sides are wet so then it's easier to roll also. Elongate as much as you can so it will become very thin. The thing with the bread is it's very crispy outside and very soft inside, making the perfect snack for iftar. So finally I've rolled out as shown. Again put some water on the edges of the bread. Okay, now we'll start making each of the shapes. First is like a cone shape. Okay. Roll the edges of the bread into a cone shape and make sure to stick the end very tightly so that the filling doesn't get out as shown. Now we can add in the filling. My filling would be a shredded chicken. I had made this and posted on YouTube also. You can please check the link in the description box below. You can put in any filling, any vegetable mix or even paneer burji or the shredded chicken. So now we have filled 3/4 of the cone. Make sure 1/4 of the cone is not filled. I have watered the edges around the cone in order to close it as shown. Tighten the edges like here. So we've got like a cone shaped symmetrical samosas. This is one of the shape. Nextly, to make another shape, cut around the edges of the bread and roll it into a very thin manner. The same step which we had followed before also. Apply water on the edges. Now let's roll into a cone. Make sure the edge of the cone is really sealed so that the filling which we put in doesn't get out. Pour in around 3/4 of the filling. Add on water around the edges of the open area so that it's easier to close the cone. Now let's start making with another shape. Cut the edges of the bread. An alternative to the bread would be wheat flour. It also gives you a very crispy outer form. So after now rolling and putting on water on the edges, let's fill in. Fill in on the sides of a bread by leaving around 1/4 of a gap. I've taken 2 teaspoons of chicken filling. That's the correct amount, so then you can correctly close it. I'll show you that. After filling, keep rolling as shown. And after rolling, tighten the edges so that the filling doesn't come out. Let's do one more time using another bread for the spring roll shape. The basic method to do any shape is the same thing as by cutting the edges and then rolling around, and make sure to apply adequate amount of water on all the sides. This is to make sure that the ends get closed so the filling doesn't go out. You can add 2 teaspoons of any filling. Don't go more, because what would happen is it would be difficult to close and seal it. So our spring roll shape is kind of ready. You can make around 3 to 4 shapes of each pattern. Nextly, I'm doing another design. As shown, please cut. And I'm planning to make a braid design, or you could say something like a fish design. Make sure to cut like that on both the sides of the bread. Once both the sides have been cut, you could see that I'm just putting the filling only on the middle side. I had not brushed water, so after putting the filling like this, I'm gonna brush the water on the sides. So like again to say, it will be easier to close. After applying water on both the sides, take the pieces like this as shown and alternatively try to stick the ends, so then it forms like a design of a fish. Make sure to apply water on the edges, so then you can close like this and you can really get the design of the fish, and it won't be a problem as it gets sticked. So now this is ready. Let's make one more of the same design. So as said, take a bread and then cut the edges and roll it by elongating it, and always cut on both the sides as shown, and put in the filling in the middle, and later on alternatively apply the water so that it gets easier to stick on. You can make a lot more designs, but right now I'm just making 2 to 3 designs sample to show how easy it is to make with bread rather than the normal wheat flour or maida. It's very less time consuming and very easy to make, and it doesn't involve any of kneading like how you want to do for wheat flour or maida. Finally, the last design which I'm going to make, cut the edges, roll it, elongate it, and I'm applying some water on the edges. I put around like 1 teaspoon of filling. 1 teaspoon is more than enough, then only you can close it as shown. It's more of like a flower shape that I'm making. Try to seal as shown below to get the shape. All the above said designs are very easy to make. Like I said, you can make more shapes of it. Make sure the edges of the bread are actually applied with water, so then it's sealed completely and there's no breakage. So this flower shape design is finally ready. I think the best filling that would go with all of these designs would be chicken filling, veg masala, as well as egg masala. These all are my personal favorites. So finally here is the shape and it's ready. Let's do a small recap of the same thing. You can make around 4 to 5 shapes of each design. That would be plenty in quantity. So here we have almost all the designs. I've just made 2 to 3 of each. And the next comes the frying part. Make sure to heat the pan. I've added vegetable oil. I'm taking the bread filled, dipping into the corn flour paste, and then dipping it again and rolling on the breadcrumbs, toasted breadcrumbs. There's no egg involved. Again, I'm rolling that on the corn flour paste and then again putting it back to the toasted breadcrumbs. Later on, that's ready to fry. Nextly, again take the same thing, roll it in the corn flour paste and then into the breadcrumbs. Make sure that the breadcrumbs is coated evenly in all the sides, and once that is done, again dip it back into the corn flour paste and again back to the toasted breadcrumbs. Similar way you can take all the designs and coat and put it in. Then it's ready for frying. I've used around like 2 to 3 tablespoons of corn flour and around half a cup of water to make the liquid paste. I've just avoided egg, but if you are somebody who loves to do an egg wash, then you can always go for it. I really don't find any difference if I'm using a corn flour instead of egg wash. More or less I'd have turned very crispy and it's tasty also. So now let's get on to frying. You can see how crispy it has become. It's because of the bread and as well as the breadcrumbs and the corn flour paste. There are a lot of other shapes that you can easily cook at home. This all just took very less, like say 10 minutes to make all these shapes. The magic of bread is that it makes the outer portion very crispy compared to wheat or maida. Almost done frying. This is very easy recipe to make if you have a filling all set. You can even freeze it, but make sure to defrost before you fry.